Hey y'all, welcome back to Taboo Talk. It's your girl Shari. So now I usually have a little music playing in the background, but I love. He gonna go and shut his door. My kid, y'all, he's so excited. But I just told him to be quiet because I don't want to play music and I want to hear the rain. And so he just caught an attitude and closed the door. What is? But yeah, I love stormy evenings. I don't know why. I just love it. Maybe I was born on a stormy evening. I'm not sure. But so I just decided to open the windows. And if y'all can hear it, we could just listen to that instead of music today. And today, the topic of discussion is shadow work. Shadow work, I don't know. I guess it depends on what you practice, what you believe, what your religion is if you're religious, because it depends on what you call it. But it's the same thing. It's like healing in a way. So to start out, shadow work to me is taking that time to get to know yourself, not numbing and actually observing and seeing and realizing and acknowledging and loving yourself for the things that you are, like just for your human aspects, I should say. So literally, I guess to start off, I just want to talk about how serious shadow work is, because know this. I mean, I'm going to talk about a lot of spirituality on this page, but I'm going to talk about a lot of things. But I know in a lot of the new age community, because that's kind of sort of what this is going to be about, you know what I mean? In the new age community, don't really discuss that part of it. Well, they do discuss it, but they don't really tell you how to do it. First of all, how difficult sometimes it is, and they're not just completely transparent about it. And I want to get down to the nitty gritty of that and the deep details of it and what that is. And because healing is not all love and light, and it's not something simple, and but it's very lucrative and effective, and it will help you it'll make this journey easier for you at the end of the day. And like I said before, and I'm going to continue to say, the whole point of me doing this and coming out with this whole entire thing is because I want people to leave more expanded and open-minded than when they came. I want them to think more, think a little bit more than they would have before they clicked on this video. And so, but I feel like a lot of so-called light workers or people on this new age path, they're not really transparent about that whole shadow work and real deal healing aspect. And honestly, it's because, and this is just me being super fucking judgmental, and that's just me, whatever. But honestly, it's because I don't think that they do the work. I don't think that they really, real deal, take the time and do what is needed, what I call shadow work, you know what I mean, and face and interface and integrate and intermute the energy of that shadow self or that dark side or what you would consider the negative side of yourself or whatever the case may be. Boom. I just and with that is because sometimes people feel like they're ready when they're not. Like with this channel, I I feel ready to speak because I've tried to do a YouTube channel before, and y'all could even go look it up. It's a little what did I call it? Limitless Light. I tried to do it before, you know what I mean? And granted, I was doing the things that I was doing now, but it was like I wasn't truly doing the shadow work, or I wasn't done with the shadow work, and I'm feeling like I want to tell what I know so bad right now. I'm so excited to give out the information of what I've learned, and I'm just not ready yet. But me not knowing that, you know what I mean, until it's like you start something and you can't even be consistent with it, and you're not even realizing why you can't be consistent with it, and it's because there's more work that you have to do before you can even try to fill the next person's cup or help them in any kind of way, shape, or form, or even just give advice or suggestions. You know what I mean? Because right now you're applying whatever to your life, and or it's not your method is not working. So, or you can't even be consistent and routine enough to continue to do. Well, that was my case. So after I stopped, because I was in a period of going through kind of what I call the dark night of the soul, or doing that shadow work, and you know, and paying attention, and getting done what I needed to get done, then and it's literally a whole year later is when I'm finally ready. And to me, it don't feel like a year later. It feels so fast once you think about it. But if you would have told me then, wait a year, Shari, you know what I'm saying, and then you'll be able to, you might not have all the equipment and stuff you need, but you'll be able to, your mouth, your communication, that is your equipment, you'll be able to communicate the way you need to communicate, the way you can break it down to other people to where they can understand you, and they can actually take heed and chew the meat, and you know what I'm saying, and get what it is that they need to get, and continue to grow, and it can help them instead of it just being blah 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 to them. You know what I mean? I want information that I give to actually help you. So things that, just simple things that you could just take and apply to your daily life, and then see the results of the difference that it makes. So, and this shadow work is literally that resting period sometimes that we need to take, that we don't need to take, that we don't take when we get so many signs that we need to take it. When you're fucking tired, your body will tell you when you're so tired, but you want to keep going out to the club, you want to keep going out and being around friends, you want to keep having company every day, you want to keep letting people in your house every day, you want to work yourself silly, you know what I mean? But in certain times, you have to take a couple steps back. Now, yeah, you can still do what you do if you have to work to pay bills or whatever, you know, you can still do what you do in order, but you have to do the shadow work, and you have to make time for the shadow work, and that's literally for yourself. To me, I find shadow work as a form of self-love, because it's taking time for you, for your healing and your growth. It's literally for you. You know what I mean? If you want that, a lot of people dibble and dabble into the spirituality because of the whole magic part, or the whole law of attraction and manifestation part of it, and because you want prosperity, and you want money and money and money and material and material and material. But I'm gonna be the motherfucker to tell you that it's hella lot of rich people out here that got all the money and the prosperity, the power, and the material, and they're still not okay. It's, you know what I mean, there's still a void within them. And so at the end of the day, you just want to kind of provide that healing. That way you can learn to appreciate things in life and look at life differently. And that way, when you are blessed, or when the universe and God, or whatever you call it, or if you believe in that, because you got to believe in one thing, because you know there's a higher power. If not, let's argue about it. I'm definitely going to. But either way it go, but it's gonna be place given to you when you're ready. You know what I mean? When you're ready for it. A lot of things we beg and ask for is not presented to us when we're ready, because when we think we're ready, because we're truly not ready for whatever it is we get. We beg for this $1 million. Next thing you know, you get the $1 million, and next thing you know, you want to corner smoke crack because you became a cokehead, and then once you ain't have enough money for coke no more, now you gotta smoke crack. Terrible analogy or example, but either way it go, like that, you know what I mean? Like, when you wasn't ready for that blessing yet, and when you got it, it just showed you how ready you weren't. So, shadow work is actually, I'm sorry, that was 9 minutes of me ranting, but now let me get into the details of what shadow work actually is. Shadow work is, once you, first of all, you become aware, you start becoming aware and acknowledging the things that are cycles, things that are not helping you, things that are hindering you, things that bother you, trigger you. You start becoming a knowledge, or you start acknowledging those things. You start becoming aware of these things. And so as you're becoming aware, after you do that, you just kind of observe, why does this bother me? Why do I do this? Or why am I attracting these kind of men? Or whatever. You start to ask those questions. Once you start asking those questions, first and foremost, spirit and universe will definitely help you find answers. You know what I mean? But then until you start seeking answers, you know what I mean? And you start reaching in yourself for the answers, and how you can find these answers is by journaling. You can write, intuitively write, just write until you just don't fucking feel like writing no more, and try to answer those questions. Or you can look in the mirror and ask yourself certain questions, you know what I mean? And the answers that pop up to your head are truly the answers. Or don't even allow the negative thoughts to drown you at that point, you know what I mean? Try to figure out ways that you can allow this to stop taking your power in a way. You can also just allow the healing. You can ask those questions and allow yourself to change, have a shift of perspective about those things. You know what I mean? You can kind of look at the more positive aspect of things, or you can kind of look at it like, okay, well, at the end of the day, if it's not affecting me right now, I cannot afford to, let this, continue to affect my relationships, or whatever the case may be. Boom. But so then the last thing, after you observe and you see what it is, you want to make changes. And that's the most difficult part. That is truly the most difficult part for me. And I know for everybody in this world, everybody on this planet, because that's the part of the shadow work that makes it work. Because observing is easy, becoming aware is easy, asking questions is easy. Trying to find the right questions to ask is not super easy, but it's not super difficult. But making change, having the self-discipline, having the will, that is fucking difficult as fuck. Like, for instance, say you're a female and you're a go-getter, you go to work, or you're in college and you're doing what you're supposed to do as far as being on the right path in life, what you think anyway is on the right path in life, but you're attracted to this certain kind of male, this dude who is verbally abusive, but yet he's so fine, so sexy. He goes to the gym all the time, you know what I mean? But he doesn't know how to respect women. He knows how to get money, this, that, and the third, but he just truly has no respect for women. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, and it's like you have to have that discipline and being like, all right, I noticed that these are men that I give the attention to. I don't give attention to the other man who is in the library, or who is in the science lab, or who is Buddhist, or whatever the case may be. I don't give attention to him. I give attention to this type of dude. And so I basically tell the universe yes to this type of dude. And so that's what keeps coming my way. And then, yes, I keep settling for it. And then, yes, I keep ending up heartbroken and feeling low and disrespected and insecure. And my power is gone. And now I have to do all this work to try to replenish it. I have to do all this shopping to try to make myself feel better. And I have to do all this, spa dates and whatnot. You know what I mean? Because he has made me feel so low. And like, just something like that. That's something to have, that you have to, like I said, once you acknowledge, okay, I choose this type of dude every time. Boom. And then you have to realize, okay, you observe what it does to you. You see and you peep what it does to you at the end of the relationship every time, or in between, or every time y'all have a fallout or whatever. You realize how it makes you feel. And then you have to make that change and be like, all right, I can't keep dealing with these kind of men. You know what I mean? I have to change up my type. Like, you know what I'm saying? I have to switch it up. And that's hard as fuck. You know what I mean? That's the hard thing to do. But that's a part of the shadow work. You know what I mean? And So, and also sometimes I feel like it's a lot of like trauma, trauma from how you were raised and whatnot like that. And you can easily burn a candle with intention to release that trauma. Like I said, you can journal intuitively and burn that shit outside to release that trauma. Like literally get that shit out of your auric field. I had a video about that too. But yeah, get that shit out of your aura field. And another, oh yeah, I definitely, guys, look at this little notebook. Is it not adorable? So freaking cute. I love stuff like this. But another thing too would be allowing the healing and allowing yourself to feel the emotions. This is something also that is very difficult for me on this journey that we're on together. It's very difficult to not numb the emotions, to not numb like me. I'm somebody who feels everything. Like I feel everything. I try not to be so sensitive. I try not to take things so personal, but I take every little fucking thing personal. And everybody that knows me know this about me. So you have to learn to allow yourself to feel those emotions without overreacting or without even having to respond. You know what I mean? To the other person or whatever the case may be. You have to feel that emotion and figure out where it stems from and allow yourself to feel that shit. If you gotta cry, cry. If you gotta punch the fucking pillow, punch the fucking pillow. But a lot of times you need to channel that energy and maybe work out, maybe, go for a walk, maybe go for a swim. I love to go skating. You can maybe go skating. Do things to channel that energy. If find different ways to channel that energy. But one thing you don't want to do is numb it all the time with drugs, marijuana, alcohol, X, even deeper drugs. You know what I mean? You don't want to numb these feelings that is basically your intuition talking to you and communicating with you when you can when a lot of shit hurts. I know it fucking hurts, but it's not the end of the world. And if it is, oh well, it's not the end of you. It's not the end of your soul. And probably it's the end of the flesh, but oh well, again, it's not the end of your soul. So, you got to think of it from a bird's eye perspective. That was another thing with the shadow work, is literally shifting your perspective, shifting the way that you view things, shifting the way that you see things, shifting the way that you think about things. You have to really work at that. That takes weeks and time. It doesn't just, okay, overnight. I listened to a meditation video with affirmations, so now I've removed my blockage from lack energy, or now I'm no longer living in lack energy. No, motherfucker, because soon as that bill come in the mail, you're gonna have anxiety. You know what I mean? And you see that your bank account ain't got nowhere near what you need for just that bill, and you have other bills coming, you have anxiety. No, it's not like that. It takes time. It truly takes time and persistence and consistency and that self-discipline and the willpower to want to change and to want to grow and to want to heal past this cycle. So you can be like, this is child's play. I don't want to deal with that cycle anymore. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. When life can be a little bit more simple for me in a sense. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, and another thing is being honest with yourself, being completely honest with yourself. That is also a difficult part about shadow work. Being honest with yourself, looking in that mirror and telling yourself the truth is the best way to heal so much. Like, so much trauma is to lift a lot of heaviness and baggage that you have on your spirit, on your heart, you know what I mean, or on your mind. To be honest with yourself, especially looking in the mirror and being honest with yourself, it'll remove so many layers. Just, you know what I mean? You'll be able to be authentically you, and being authentically you feels so light and free, and that feels better than any drug can give you. You know what I mean? Any drug, anything that you find yourself addicted to, it feels really great. And but you don't want to become addicted to that feeling either, because you do have lows, and that's just a part of being a human being. You just have to learn how to observe the energy and not let it take your power. But being honest with yourself, that's just truly the way to do it. Me, I definitely started, like I said, with even just being sensitive. That's something you can lie to yourself about till the cows come home. But that's not gonna make you no less sensitive. You know what I mean? You have to address why you're so sensitive. Sometimes you just have to accept you for who you are. You have to accept that that's the shadow work. Once you realize that this is just you, and I have to love me regardless, I have to really love on myself. I have to really be compassionate with myself, and not be so hard on myself. You know what I mean? Because that's why I'm receiving what I'm receiving, because everybody views you the way you view you. You know what I mean? And you wanna love on yourself. You wanna really truly take the time and love on you. Take the time for yourself, to understand yourself, to listen to yourself and your intuition and your soul and your spirit and your heart, and listen to what you want, and listen to what's hurting, and listen to what's bothering you. Listen to shit you've been ignoring, shit you know you've been ignoring. That's the shadow work. You know what I mean? That's it. And sometimes in doing that, you have to isolate yourself. And that's the part of the shadow work that a lot of people don't like to do either, is isolating yourself, because sometimes you gotta quiet out the noise and you just gotta listen to you. You know what I mean? You have to feel you, and you have to, like I said, allow yourself to feel those emotions. And that comes in isolation, and not going to a club, or not having company that night, or probably 3 nights in a row. You know what I mean? And just taking that walk by yourself, or just sitting outside on the porch by yourself. You know what I mean? It comes in that isolation when you can do that, like I said, or shutting the bathroom door, looking at a mirror, or if you have a mirror in your room, just shutting your room door and looking in that mirror, and asking yourself those questions, or being honest with yourself. It takes that work. It takes that isolation. It takes that time. It's self-love. Shadow work equals self-love. Period. You know what I mean? If you understand that. And with that being said, I just hope that this reaches whoever it needs to reach, whenever it needs to reach you. Spirit, let this video just past you. And yeah, again, I just really, like I said, the goal is for you to leave thinking a little bit freer than when you came here. And I hope that we accomplished that today. I love you.